What up, man? I went live last night. It didn't upload. I thought it might have got taken down, but it must have, either, you know, phone glitched on me or I hit something by mistake. So I'm do this again because it just been on my mind, and y'all know I got to get it off my chest. So it is what it is. I know I'm all out the algorithm. I ain't posted in so long, and got one person in the chat. Michelle, is that you? But yeah. But last night I tried to upload a live. It was I was thinking about what's going on, like with the immigrants. The upheavals around the world. Um, you know, the way our economy's going. I mean, but the way movies telegraph punches, predictive programming, or what they call it, and uh, three movies pop out. And what even sparked this thought process is after I saw this movie Leave the World Behind. Everybody been talking about it. Obama put his stamp on it and gave some notes on it or whatnot to make it more accurate, which is scary since he had access to all kinds of information. So when the president is executive producer, him and his wife executive producing and add notes, and it's like, hold on, considering the nature of this movie and how it ended. It's not a big action movie or nothing, but the message is real clear. Actually, the message is more clear when there's not dialogue, except for the last part, which stood out the most. I'm not about the deer and all that, not even that part, just the last part when the whole three-pronged attack was broken down. But first, I want to talk about Forever Purge. That's been out for a couple of years now. All right, I got two people in the house. Who just leave the name. I need the name so I can shout y'all out. Uh, Forever Purge. I don't even care about spoiler alerts at this point. Forever Purge. If y'all know the Purge movies, y'all know how it is. It's you know, 12 hours. Everybody get to, all crime is legal and la da 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 da. It's supposed to, let people purge the collective rage and all that. It's a lot of social commentary with that, but it's really, to get rid of the poor, to kill people off, and make the economy better. Less people take care of because the poor can't protect themselves on purge night. That's how it goes. And, which is also social commentary as to how the poor is left out, to fend for themselves now, and how it's going to continue to be um, for some time to come. But however, the Forever Purge, it was based around, the Mexican border, in Texas or whatnot. And the whole thing of immigrants became an issue. That was the main theme in there. And a lot of people were tired of the immigrants. There was a lot of commentary, about race relations and da 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 da. And well, it didn't stop after 12 hours. Some group just decided to keep it going. They wanted to purge everything, and you have your standard characters in there, your racists and all this stuff, and they want to purge mainly, minorities. But some everybody was getting killed. Well, in the end of that, some of those Americans end up having to retreat and escape America and go across the southern border. Mexico opened up their borders, and a little sense of irony in that. But it was saying the new founding fathers' creation has risen up to destroy it. And as the camera starts panning back over the globe, you see the whole entire country of America. It's black. Well, you see the lights are out, and it's just fires everywhere. You hear the gunshots and the radio reports, as it's panning back before the movie ends. And so that kind of lets you know, like, okay, it's still going. Wow. They destroyed it. You know what I mean? Destroyed themselves. So then Leave the World Behind comes out. I just recently seen that a couple of weeks back. And, I'm not going to get into the deer and all that. That's a whole nother thing. The sound waves and the kid being bitten by the tick, which exacerbated the symptoms, his teeth coming out and things like that. That's what I think with the signals and all that. But you know, that technology exists. You know, as far as harassment, you know, to disperse crowds and directed energy weapons and all that stuff. It's the last part. It's the last part when they're sitting in the car, you know, and he's telling about the three-prong attack, and the girl is standing there and she's standing there silent, and she studied like, what's wrong? Finally, she looks, the mother looks, and yeah, the city's getting bombed. Right as the dude is explaining, you know, the whole point was to cause confusion. Everybody's getting pamphlets from different countries, so nobody knows who's attacking who. In different parts of the country, they're getting pamphlets from different countries. So they're like, yo, we don't know who to trust. You know, then the harassment with the sound waves and whatnot, and the signals from the satellites. But the goal was to get America to destroy itself from within, to get people fighting. You know, it's basically like, hey, you know, can't be conquered from the outside. We got to destroy ourselves from within, like Rome or whatnot. You know, that's initially what weakened Rome. And then they were originally taken over by the barbarian tribes or whatnot. But, and then, you know, obviously you see the war had started at the end of Leave the World Behind. The city was getting bombed. You hear the gunshots. It was on. So I think April of this year, Civil War's coming out. So I don't know if those two are related, but, you know, the message itself is in the title, Leaving the World Behind, you know, and it's sort of like, yeah, rapture yourself from this world in a sense, because we all feel it in our bones. We see it. We want to hold on to what we remember of America, and those, you know, people, you know, our elders, grandparents, great grandparents, if they're still around, you know, they remember America a lot differently too. And hell, I was born in 79, and I can look back and remember an America that's not like now. So you can imagine what they feel like. All that is going away, slowly but surely. You know, we see moves being made, but the immigrants that's being let in, you know, they're a weapon. You know, they're a weapon to replace the labor, for one, you know, us, you know, and all those different jobs, is also to create a situation that, you know, that allows for a clampdown. And I'm going to talk about the election a little bit in that too, because that's a possible scenario, is why I'm bringing it up, and it seems feasible. But they bringing all these people in, no real checks and balances at all. Just bust them in, fly them in, drop them off. Hey, y'all cities, y'all figure it out. You know, I'm sure the city officials and everybody getting their palms greased, some of them, you know, to do this. And now it's out of control, which we knew was going to happen that way. They could barely find places to house them. When they got to shut down, close down schools, you know, and they put them in police stations, and then, you know, they're coming here with this attitude of like, they don't like us. Hell, they're racist against other minorities here. They like, it's our time. You know, I seen a video on Miss Lowdown channel. You know, this dude telling her, no more money for you. Told this black lady, no more money for you. You know, some other ones, they was breaking into a building, you know, taking the boards down, finna go in there squatting or whatnot. And legally, you can't remove them. So imagine they just coming in mass and they just jumping, you know, like, get off my, you know, property. No. What you think's going to happen if the police can't do nothing? People are going to get ticked off, and they're going to start attacking them. And they're going to fight back. And also, if there's sleeper cells in these crowds, you know, now that some people are here just trying to escape, you know, the turmoil in their own country. All right. It's not everybody, but there's some of them, you know, that they got criminal backgrounds. They've escaped from the prisons out. They've been busted out of the prisons. They here, you know, they organizing. They might have a little help from on high to carry out certain attacks to make it look like something, you know, and they might not all be from South America. Some from the Middle East and things. They coming through this corridor that's wide open. So what do you think going to happen if, you know, attacks start popping up, especially around election season? You know, That was like, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, in the preview, one of the previews for for the Civil War movie. All right, it sounded like something about the election going on, and they had a little radio broadcast in the trailer. It sounded like, something about the election. I don't know if it was about being suspended, but we see what's going on with this current election. We see what they're doing with Trump. The people have spoken, and I said this last night, so I'm kind of repeating myself. The people have spoken. They want Trump back. You know, I hate to see a big "I told you so" to a lot of people who fell for the okey doke, but hey, we told you so, and now it's a lot of regret. But hey, they're trying to get this man in. Yo, what up, Dro? They're trying to get this man in, okay? And you got states trying to keep him off the ballot. They're doing everything they can because they can't beat him straight up. So here's a few things that can happen, and I think it's pretty feasible. Either a lot of these immigrants or, some of the ones that's from not necessarily South America, but Middle East and, infiltrating sleeper cell types start creating upheavals, okay? And elections get suspended. Constitution gets suspended. You get martial law in order to get it in order. Basically, they gave us a problem so they can fix it. Create a problem. Problem, reaction, solution. You know how it goes. That's one way it can happen. All right? Or you get with this upcoming Civil War movie, you got a lot of pissed off conservatives, a lot of pissed off Trump supporters, as we call MAGA Americans now. All right, since we've been labeled as terror, anybody who supports the Republican Party or Trumpists especially, what I'm saying, us mad red hatters, okay, labeled as like domestic terrorists for simply choosing a political party, really, or supporting a candidate that we the people supposedly choose. So, and all off the premise of January 6th, we all know that was a setup. All right. So now domestic terrorists. So now you got all these states, not all these states, but some states, the fact that even if they don't succeed, the audacity to try it. But if something goes crazy, where it's like, oh, they kept Trump off the ballot and, Nikki Haley wins or whatever, you're probably going to have a lot of pissed off people. Okay, probably not just Republicans or conservatives or Trump supporters, just people, period. Like, what the hell is this? What part of the game is this? Upheaval, Civil War. There was a line in that trailer where the guy was his family, and he talked to the guy with the gun, and he's like, "We're American," and he was like, "Okay, you're American. What kind of American?" You know what I'm saying? Biden already set that tone. You got, these Americans, and you got the MAGA Americans. You know what I mean? You already setting these stages. The predictive programming is all in there, man. It's crazy, man, how that worked. All right. But then, let me step from that for a second, and let's just get on the street level. All right. Back to the immigration thing. Let alone with the AI they're trying to use to replace the jobs, what I'm saying? The low-level jobs and all that stuff. But just your regular, low-skill jobs. All right. Yeah, they willing to work for cheaper. And they don't ask no questions. We bucking too much. We starting to act like actual Americans and demand stuff from our government. How dare we, right? All right, well, let's bring these people in. You know what I'm saying? You got a faithful voter base because they're going to vote for who brought them in. And then they have this attitude of, we're better than you. And it's like, y'all just got here. So, we have to caution ourselves as to not play into that and not, protect yourselves, obviously, but not get it to where we let these people and their failing system, which this system is going away. You feel it, and some people feel it, feel a sort of joy, sort of excitement, like let's end it. And then you have people who, as the title says, leave the world behind, holding on to this system, no matter how corrupt, no matter how, unfair it is. It's the only one we know. So some people are willing to hold on to it and fight to the death to defend it because they're afraid of what's on the other side. Well, hey, when something new's coming in, it's never, unless it's the system they offer. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no better. Like I said, AI and all this stuff, ESG, social credit, all this stuff. No, you do not want that. I'd rather for it all to just burn down before we get that, because that is a whole new level of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't see your masters no more. Your masters see you. They see you right now in the towers, our phones, obviously, TVs. You got Alexa and all the smart appliances in your home and all that. That's it. Now that they're building the smart cities, your prison is being built around you, made it to look like it's for your convenience. It's convenient right now until it's turned on you. And so now we got, hey, the wages ain't going up, but the price is going up. The quality of the food, we learning more and more about our food and stuff like that. It's never been healthy. The unhealthy stuff is cheapest. The healthy organic stuff, hell, it's probably contaminated anyway, but they charge you more for it. But at least you think you're eating healthier, So that whole placebo effect. So it's like, hey, what we got going here? But people are afraid because we feel something, So let's get back to the whole leave the world behind thing. Because as we see, things are going to start changing. It's going to be harder to just live the way we used to. Like, I remember the 90s, you know what I'm saying? I was a kid in the 90s, coming of age or whatnot. And things were cheaper. The economy was great, forget it. It's done, A lot of people saw money lost, the 2008 recession, all the things that happened going up. That's didn't happen. And people lost savings and things like that. We got to be prepared to leave what we know behind. It's just like, Lot's wife trying to, turn around, taking that last look at Sodom and Gomorrah, and she got turned into a pillar of salt. Don't look back. We got to let go of our materialism. We've given ourselves over to just having stuff and fooling ourselves into thinking that's something, like that's the true fruit of labor. And it's like, yeah, it's nice to have things and all that, but that ain't what it's all about. Now we have to be preparing ourselves to potentially live, apart from a system we might not want to live, be a part of. That means your basic necessities, man. Just food and toilet paper. Y'all seen how it was when the vid hit. People fighting over something as simple as toilet paper, hoarding it. Which thing gonna happen? Something worse. Let me get on that. It might come in the form of germs, another germ, another virus. You know what I'm saying? Just anything. But the dots I'm connecting with that Forever Purge and Leave the World Behind and the new Civil War movie mixed with this, what's going on in reality outside the theater with the immigration thing, the conflicts around the world. It seemed like the walls are closing in. Something is brewing. We all feel it in our bones. We're just wondering, like, what the hell? We gotta, what are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to cut back on? And I'm not talking about like, oh, I'm going to eat less meat and all that. No. But it's like, while our dollar still has value, what are we going to put it toward? Trying to look the best at the club, or making sure the pantry is stuffed, making sure, you got fuel for your generators, making sure you got all your basic needs and things like that, man, because that's going to be worth its weight in gold. Who can you trust? It ain't all about just guns and ammo. Yeah, that's important too. But, I think most Americans got that part covered already. You know what I mean? If nothing else. But also psychologically, spiritually, physically, how prepared are we, all of us, any of us, And I'm sure a lot of us ain't at 100%, not even 50%, but at least on a psychological level, we need to prepare ourselves for just sweeping changes. It's gradual, but it's sweeping at the same time, because the more information you hear, unless you put your head in a hole in the ground like an ostrich, it's gonna compile itself. And I'm not just talking about here in the States. I'm talking about things overseas and around the rest of the world, whether it be climate or conflict or anything. How it all affects everything here. You, like I said, somebody sneezed the wrong way, and it affect the stock market. And I know it's a lot of moves being made, to devalue the dollar, to weaken the government more than it already is. So these are just, a few ways of looking at it, what I'm saying, of how it can happen. I'm not predicting nothing. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's just it's almost too easy. You know what I mean? But we got a powder keg, man, and a lot of people not gonna be so neighborly. So it's like, look to your left and right. Who can you trust? Who's gonna? How do you know how somebody's gonna react in a certain scenario? You know what I mean? Some people may hunker down. Some people may go ballistic. You know what I'm saying? And then you have your others that's, just kind of like, all right, we kind of just roll with this, see where it goes. But if you're a believer in some kind of deity or something, and the book with which you worship, and it's got some kind of end time prophecy, well, welcome to it. This is what it looks like. And it's gonna be times where it's not pretty. That's just the gist of it, man. And that's realism. That's reality. Well, this reality. I tell you what, I'm ready for the next, what's coming next. Whether it be something from outer space or whatever, it's like, hey, you know what, just bring it. Don't matter. But that's all I kind of wanted to get off my chest. You know what I mean? I did this last night and it didn't upload. Hopefully this one uploads. And if you're in the area where you see a lot of immigrants or whatnot, that, be careful. Look around. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes, don't be too quick to get in, sleep. They got stuff that we've been vaccinated against for years is coming back now. They're bringing things over with them. And this is hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I took a break, man. But it's just one of them times that my head was full, man. I had to get this out, man. I felt compelled, so that's why I'm doing this. It's too much, man. And it's all kinds of people, putting out all kinds of jewels, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure we all seen the videos and everything, man. But it's time. It's time we need to reprioritize what we value. Leave the world behind. Can you, like that one song Nas had, "If Heaven Was a Mile Away, can I pack up my bags and leave the world behind?" Could you? How many of us are so attached to right here that we can't possibly think of anything else beyond it? We're so addicted to this. No matter how miserable it makes us, we hold on to it because it's all we know. We're taught to believe in something else, but how many people really believe it and willing to take that step? So yeah, you wouldn't leave the world behind, and I mean in a literal sense, like not like leaving the planet or nothing like that. And I'm not talking about going from third to fifth dimension or planet Nibiru and all that stuff. I'm just talking about the world as we know it, the lifestyle that we live here in America. Say if like America, some people have the opinion that America's already a third world country status. I disagree, but it ain't impossible. What do we truly value? What has years of programming, indoctrination and media and all these things and things from celebrities and commercials and our favorite rappers and all these things, just out there to push music and different products, Get your new iPhone, the titanium, get your new Beats, and get this and that. You know, stuff that do nothing but collect dust. You know, and then people off to the next thing. Like, what do we truly value? Do we value the stuff or the people? You know, do you value the stuff or the person who owns it? You know what I'm saying? Who got it? Do you value that person because they got it? Would you value them less if they didn't have it? You see what I'm saying? Gotta leave the world behind. The world that has us thinking this way. We place value in things and stuff, material stuff. Hell, that's what Jesus was trying to teach me. That's all the great teachers. That's what they was trying to do. Get people out of that because it's temporary. You know, like we say, energy never dies. You know, so it ain't about this physical. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you worry about the physical and the physical, but know that there's more. And if y'all of the mind, you know, I believe it. It ain't no conspiracy to me no more. You know, it's definitely other beings, okay? Some here to help, some here not to help. Malevolent, benevolent, you know? So there's a beyond. That's it, man. That's all I have to get off my chest.